You're listening to the Spark Your Light podcast, episode number 310, Making Peace with the Pace of Your Journey. This episode is for you if you're someone who sometimes feels like you should be farther along by now and you want to have achieved your dreams yesterday. If you can relate, this episode is something that probably you need to hear. And I know I often need to hear it. It's really interesting because the older that I've become, the more peace I have with the timeline and pace of the journey, which is so silly because I actually have less time. Yet I'm more wise, maybe. Or I've realized that it's not a race. And it's not about getting to the finish line. It's just about chasing what sparks your light, ultimately. And I've used different strategies that have helped me make peace with this pace that I wanted to share in this episode today. So the first strategy is set a 10-year goal. I think that when we're young, we're so quick to set 1-year goal and 6-month goal and quarterly goals. And it probably has something to do with the way that we have been conditioned in school. We have semesters and all of our goals are in these 4-month periods. Or the whole school year you could look at in a 1-year period. And the biggest chunk that you've probably ever looked at is 4 years, like high school and college. So it makes sense that it's hard to think about 10 years or even 20 years. But when we do that, we really step back from this rat race to try to get there faster. And we look at where we want to be and what we want our life to look like over time. And it helps us consider a more steady pace. It's not to say that you can't get there fast. It's just to say that you're going to go at whatever pace it unfolds as. There's only so much you can do. You have to sleep. You have to take care of yourself, right? So there's only so many hours in a day. You have other obligations that you can speed up the journey. And I think ultimately, you can't speed up life's lessons. You can't speed up experiences that shape the way you think and prepare you for the things you want. Ultimately, you can't speed that up. You have to live those. There's no way around it. You probably know this because there have probably been wise people in your life who've given you great advice that you heard and it made sense, but you had trouble really understanding it until you lived it. Life teaches us through experience. So in order to achieve the things we want to achieve on our journey, we have to have the experiences. And the only way we have experiences is through time. There's only so many experiences that we can have in a day, a week, a month, a year. But when we look at 5 years, 10 years, then it opens up a lot more doors for learning and preparing you to be the person who achieves the goals that you are setting. So looking at that 10-year, even 20-year timeline can really help. The second thing that I have found to be helpful is to let go of this feeling that you need to achieve XYZ by a certain date, otherwise it's not working. Instead, adopting a relentless commitment to your vision and being willing to learn the lessons along the way, make the changes along the way, and of course, wanting to get to that next goal. That's great. But stop thinking 17 steps ahead and just think one. And that's something that Michael Jordan talked a lot about in The Last Dance and in some of the books that have been written about him that I've really enjoyed, he focused on the next step. He never thought about being a pro player when he was in high school. He just thought about making the varsity team. And then once he made the varsity team, he thought about making the college team. And so he just took it the next step and the next step and the next step. Once he won one championship, he thought about the next championship. And I think there's something really magical to that thought process of just focusing on what's next. It takes away some of that pressure and obsession with the timeline, because you're just going to focus on it until you achieve that next goal. And then you're going to focus on that next goal until you achieve the goal after that. And you're just going to go one step at a time. And there's no deadline. I think sometimes deadlines are good. They help us stay accountable and put in the effort that we need to. But there's some things that we can't control, like how fast a product or service is going to take off, or how quickly your manager will want to promote you. And it's going to be different in every situation. So your job is just to keep showing up until you achieve that next goal. So those are some things that have helped me start to let go of this obsession with being farther along and instead enjoying each moment of the journey. And ultimately, I think it's about pursuing something that you actually like. If you don't like doing it, you probably won't enjoy the journey. So you can't just like the end result. You have to actually like the process of it too. Otherwise, at some point, you're going to want to give up. So make sure you focus your time and energy on things that you enjoy. It doesn't mean that there won't be parts of it that you don't enjoy. That's always part of the process. But focusing on something you enjoy will help find peace and make the journey more fun. So thanks so much for tuning into today's episode, sending you lots of good energy, and I will catch you in the next episode.